Well, they are the first team this year to qualify for Worlds. I'm joined right now by PowerofEvil from FlyQuest, from SeaQuest, to talk about their entry into 2020's World Championships. Of course, this coverage is brought to you by Alienware. So first off, big congratulations. We were just talking a little bit about this, and the last time that you were at Worlds was with Ignar in 2017. So I imagine it's got to feel great to have qualified back in again.
Yeah, man, it's insane. It's the first time since I went to NA to make Worlds, and it's funny that it's actually somewhat a similar story with Igna. After we both left Misfits, we didn't make it for 2 years, and now after reuniting in the same team, we're back at it.
Is that what it took? Is it just you and Ignar? That's what you were waiting all this time for him to reappear?
No, I think my team is awesome. Just every player is really, really good, but obviously making it with Igna has just like a special touch with it, you know.
Yes. Well, I'm sure that's it's got to be great right now. We were trying to schedule this or sort this out because you guys did just win, but I was waiting for you, and I heard you were on a call with your family. So, and it's quite late, I think, in Germany, right?
No, yeah, it is. My family always watches my games, and my family is really supportive. My two brothers are always watching and even giving me tips like, "Oh, maybe I should draft this or ban this," you know?
Yeah.
Because they're playing League themselves, and yeah, my whole family was watching it, and I just called them and in a group phone call, and yeah, they just all congratulated me. It's like 3 a.m. I think in Germany, 2 or 3 a.m. and it's just really dark, you know. You just see like they're on their phones and they're just like, "Yeah, you did it," you know. I don't know. I'm really happy that I got such a supportive family.
Well, I mean, it's really cool to hear that they were staying up so late to watch this, and unfortunately for them, I guess you'll probably have several more games that they'll have to do that for. So maybe
True.
Maybe when you get to Worlds, the schedule will be better for them. All right, so I think a lot of people were predicting C9 in this match, especially given your record against them. What ended up changing, and how much of it was just the fact that you guys didn't scrim them? Because that caused a lot of conversation, a lot of talk whenever that came up with in my Sven interview. And yeah, I'm just kind of curious, like how if that impacted your ability to beat them today, you think?
Well, this topic has a lot of like in depth, right? And it's always hard to say and judge like how much really does it impact. But from what I felt going into the games and from what I felt like throughout the last weeks that we didn't scrim them, it definitely helped us prepare for today. And not only that, but it gave us like way more confidence as well going into the games. I think we're just not afraid of them at all, and we knew it's gonna be a hard fight. They're gonna be like throwing everything at us, and we just need to be ready for it. And I really felt like we were, because we could just prepare a lot against them. We didn't really show any picks, and it was just great.
Were you surprised at all by their drafts? Because I think a lot of people were kind of reacting to the fact that, you know, even after they were losing, a lot of the drafts seemed similar. And I don't know, I'm just kind of curious about your take on how the drafts and pick and ban went down this series.
I feel like that they struggled throughout the last half split, and that might be because they didn't really figure out exactly what they want to play champion wise and just maybe like team wise. It just feels odd that they I think went for the Azul Yumi 4 games in a row, because I think that puts a lot of pressure on Sven to perform, and it doesn't really give them much playmaking. And then there's just like little things here and there right throughout the series, like giving us Shen most of the games, and I feel like we even got Azi 2 games where we had like really, really strong performances. So, and it's just like I think they didn't feel like as prepared as maybe we were going into the match.
Well, before I move off of C9, I'm also kind of curious, like, what? I mean, there's a wild world here. They're down in the losers bracket, and so is TSM. Whichever team makes it down to there tomorrow is also going to be a pretty strong contender. I guess what I'm getting at is like, there's a very good chance that C9 does not make Worlds this year. Is that kind of crazy to you? Because I think to a lot of fans it would be, especially given how they performed during the first 75% of this year's regular season.
Low key, if I was C9 right now, I would be really scared. Because even in the series, we even told ourselves, guys, like they're really shaking right now because there's just so much pressure on C9. They stomped the spring split, they stomped the first half of the summer split, and there's just so much like fan pressure, like even maybe organization pressure onto them, and I feel like they had like this really big expectations from themselves too. So now it's like they're probably thinking about the same thing that you just mentioned, right? Like, damn, what if we don't make it? You know, like right now, like they're fighting for the like I guess like world spot,
Yeah,
right?
last chance essentially.
Yeah, so it's definitely gonna be scary for them. But I think they're a strong team. I don't think you should count them out, and I feel like they can make the run for it for sure. I feel like isn't there like a chance even that we could meet them again?
I think you could potentially in the finals, but obviously you've already qualified in, so.
Oh yeah.
So I think there's a chance, but we'll see. I mean, because there's all those other teams as well. Tomorrow, I believe you'll face whoever play the bracket. Sometimes throws me off a little bit, but if I'm correct, you play whoever wins tomorrow.
Wins tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, that is correct.
Oh man, I was watching Sneaky and Medios' stream, and they got so confused. Like for a little bit, they weren't even sure if you guys had qualified for Worlds, and I'm like, they qualified this. This is something I know, and they're like looking at the bracket. So I think that the bracket changes have really thrown people off. But anyway, you'll face whoever wins tomorrow. Do you have an expectation on who it'll be? Just because I think Golden Guardians has been surprising people.
Honestly, it's really hard to tell. I think they are somewhat similar in their play style and how they win games. So it's like I think it's gonna be a close series, and I think it's either gonna be Team Liquid maybe getting the early lead onto them and then like kind of like rolling through the series. But I feel like what's more likely is that's gonna be a close series, maybe similar like today, maybe even more close than today, where it's gonna be we go to like all 5 games. And honestly, since we won, I'm really hoping for 5 games, and I can like sit back, relax, watch the games, and see what they're throwing at each other.
So you've been here. This is your 3rd year in North America. You've been on a different team every year. What is this team like, especially since it's the first time that you've gotten to Worlds? Since you've gotten to North America, this is the first team you've been able to do it with.
So you're asking like how this team?
Yeah. How's this team compared to the previous 2 teams, and what has this year been like compared to the last couple of years that you've been here in North America?
I would say one strong thing is that everyone is really emotional, and like emotional in the sense of like they're really passionate and they really want to win and they really want to succeed as a team and make it work and go back there. I feel like a lot of players have a lot of experience, and they were like some were even at Worlds already before, right? And they want to make it back there. And it really felt like we know kind of like how is each player, what are his strengths, what are his weaknesses, and we try to play around them. We try to make them work. And I feel like we're just like kind of like a group of friends trying to make Worlds, and like today we did it, right? But that was kind of the idea, and I feel like it's going really great. Obviously we're all in the gaming house besides Solo. I think he's living in an apartment. So
wait, did Turtle move back in?
Oh my god. Oh, true. Okay, sorry. 2 people are not there.
I just learned so much about how much you interact with each other in this gaming house. Turtle's been moved out for like months, right? And you have no idea. You completely forgot.
I'm actually living in a room right now, but okay, let me rephrase that.
You're living in his old room.
Yeah. It's true, Turtle moved out.
Okay.
But I feel like we are really close. That's what I wanted to say. I feel like
I can tell.
I feel like we are obviously Lucas, Santorin, Igna, and me, we are obviously always like just in the house, like talking to each other, thinking about drafts, thinking about how we can improve. And I feel like Turtle, he got a lot of slack, I think, from the community of like not performing. And we obviously had the experiment where we tried out with the different AD carry, but I think he really stepped up. This guy is playing every day, like thousands of games, and
thousands of games. That's a lot of games.
I know.
A day.
Yes. It is. Yeah. But yeah, he really shows up, and Solo as well. Like I feel like he's more kind of like the we don't actually interact with him as much as with everyone else.
Yeah.
But super cool dude, and I don't know, he picks strength for the team. Holds for me. What can I say more? You know.
Well,
You love to see it.
what is it like? I don't know how much insight you can give into the sort of the staff's response to this on the FlyQuest side, because I don't know how much you interact with them, but Crumb said something on the analyst desk, which was along the lines of like, a year ago, the biggest thing this team was known for was a candy bar, and look at them now, and kind of the Team Snickers meme from a year ago. So it does feel like this team has just turned around dramatically this year. This organization, on the brand side, I mean, the fact that you've got like the aquarium behind you, and you guys are doing the Sequest stuff and all that. And now you've combined that brand success with competitive success, making it to Worlds. So, have you had a chance to talk to them much? I assume that they are ecstatic.
Well, I think our org obviously did like an insane job of this rebranding. Like I feel like Trisha and our manager Nick did like a really insane job at this, and I feel like really turning around this like new brand of like for FlyQuest, and obviously it's always connected. I feel like it's kind of like a two-way thing, right? Like the org did an insane job at this rebranding, and I feel like the whole team, the whole like players like did an insane job at bringing the competitive success that is sometimes needed to like do this turnaround. And I feel like the combo was just like what made it like so awesome.
Yes. Well, it's a very exciting time, I'm sure, for especially the people who had held out for a long time as FlyQuest fans, and now feel like they can really stand up proud. Okay, so I did this thing last week, where because I watched the Sneaky Meteos co-streams. At the end, I've been asking them if they have questions or a question for whoever it is that I'm going to interview. So I have a question for you from Sneaky and Meteos, and I actually have a clip that I will link you. And so we'll do a quick little edit here, but you can watch it and react.
Travis asking if we have a question for the Power of Evil. Mr. Meteos?
Question for PoE?
Yeah.
The only question I had during the series was some of his QSS pickups, but like it worked out, so
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, we were talking about QSS because we think that QSS maybe been bought too early. And I mean, if you even see the gameplay, like he didn't really get to use it with, like it didn't really do anything until later, where it ends up being a really good item when he has like 2 or 3 items. But you could ask him just his thoughts on that. I think it'd be fine. I don't know if there's much you could really say besides, I think I needed it.
Okay.
So QSS.
QSS.
Yes.
So my thoughts on that is, it's actually funny that they question it, because my analyst wrote me afterwards and asked me about it too, or like we had like a little brief conversation between the matches, and we obviously spoke about it and came to the conclusion that there's advantages and disadvantages with the QSS. The first one is he was suggesting going for the stopwatch and Zhonya's, since I was playing against the Nocturne, Twisted Fate. Sorry, I don't remember all the other champions, but that's kind of like the main 2 where you want to have the stopwatch against, or like the Zhonya's. And the reason why I went for the QSS instead is because the Nocturne was really far behind, so he doesn't have that insane burst that you normally get at. Like normally, if the Nocturne is ahead or even, I feel like you need the Zhonya's, because he just jumps on you, does like 1k damage in like 1 second, you die, so you need to stopwatch that. But since he was really far behind, the QSS helps me in the sense of there were like 2 or 3 team fights which were really crucial, where with the Zhonya's, I'm pretty sure I would have died, but with the QSS I actually survived, which is after you get stun carded, right, or you get like CC'd from whatever, right, like Yumi ultimate or something. If I use QSS, I can instantly flash out or like EQ dash out, and I can instantly get into a favorable position and return damage. If I buy the Zhonya's and they catch me, maybe because I'm in a bad spot or in a bad position, I need to stopwatch, and then I'm still in threat afterwards, right? They can instantly like throw their stuff onto the Zhonya's when I come out, and I'm gonna be in a really bad spot. So the QSS is better in that sense, and obviously the Zhonya's is more expensive, so I don't really want to finish the Zhonya's because I like to go the Nashor's, Leandris, Rabadon's like route of items, and So I think the first game, definitely, I think the QSS was really important and way better. And then I think I bought it in one other game where we were even. I think it was the other game again.
Yes.
And I was playing against Zori. And I think that one is, I would say, I'm not too sure. I'm not sure if I needed it. Now it's like a, how to say it, like, oh, maybe I get caught. The QSS can actually save me, or I don't get caught, and it's not needed, right? And it's hard to tell. I think like that game, since they didn't have to just 100-0, like they can like get the stun card on me like no matter what. So you can actually, like, I would say you can argue, like, do you really need it? You can maybe dodge it, or you can, like, sidestep it, jump it out. So I would say this one is definitely, like, I would say you can, like, just skip it. But I think the first game where I bought it, I think it was really helpful and saved me in certain team fights.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you for answering that question from Sneaky and Meteos. Last one.
No worries.
Last one is All Pro came out recently, and there was a lot of discussion about in that thread about FlyQuest and the placing of the players. Some people said solo should have been higher or whatever. I'm kind of curious, what were your reactions when you saw the rankings? I mean, you tied with Niski, so I don't know if you were happy with that or if you felt you should have been higher, just in general for FlyQuest.
Well, the voting is always really like obviously based as well on like perceptions, community perception analysts, right? Like casters. So it's always like it's really hard to tell, I think like all of us were like a little bit confused. I feel like we are really, really strong players in our roles. I don't remember everyone who did it. So I think Solo didn't make it, which was kind of
Solo
like,
didn't, and he was one of the people that I think was specifically called out in that.
Yeah, I think Solo should have made it. I don't know if did Ignar make it.
So Ignar made third, you made third, and then Santorin made second.
Yeah, so I feel like even Wild Turtle, like I think he got a lot of like slack, as I said before, and he got a lot of like, I feel like this perception of him is like not performing well, especially since we did the swap out. But I'm pretty sure if you look at his stats, if you look at like how he's performing, I think he's doing great performances. And I feel like if I would obviously rate us, like it would be weird if I wouldn't believe in my team, right?
Right.
Especially after today. So I think we are all definitely top 3 in our roles. And if obviously like the casters, analysts, media don't believe it yet, we will try to make it even more clear.
Hey, players and coaches voted in it too.
That's true. That's true.
I think they make up like half the vote, to be honest, because there's so many of them.
Oh, I see.
Because there's 2 from each team, so they're like 20 votes.
That's true. But it's like 1 player by team, right?
Yeah, 1 player per team, 1 coach per team. So.
Yeah, honestly, whoever doesn't think one of us is in the top 3, we're gonna prove it in the next best of 5s, and I'm confident that we can just show up and prove everyone wrong once again.
Well, I want to end this interview by just let's see. I want to see if I can find it. Your tweet was, "Holy shit, man! We fucking qualified for Worlds," in all caps. So I just want to say congratulations. I can tell how excited you are for doing that. Anything you want to say to any of the fans out there?
Honestly, just a big thank you for everyone who believed in us. Like everyone who like wrote me nice messages. I even asked like, like guys, like cheer me up for our game today. It's gonna be a rough one. It's gonna be hard, and I really appreciate that all.
Well, thank you so much for the interview. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things esports right here on my YouTube channel. Would you like a free gaming station, gaming battle station with which you can get? Anyway, Intel Gamer Days. It's an Alienware giveaway that's happening right now as part of that promotion. You can go check the link in the video description below, alienware.com/Travis. That's my normal link, and there's going to be a banner there. You can sign up. They're also giving away, as part of that, a $300 Steam gift card. Thank you so much to Alienware for doing cool stuff like this, and maybe you could win it. I know maybe you haven't won anything before. Maybe you have, but you could be like, wow, I actually won this. I did not anticipate it. That could be you. Just imagine you right now getting that, and then you tweet at me and you say, I did this, and I say, congratulations, that's fantastic. Have you followed my book YouTube channel, which is right here? And you say, what are you pointing at? This is just a Twitter conversation. And I say, I know, but this is also the outro for this video. And you say, what's going on?